Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm back with another ThriveAcademy tutorial for you. Today I'm going to show you how to set up a brand new course inside of ThriveCart's brand new LMS ThriveAcademy. So before you can actually set up your course, what you want to do is make sure that you have your product set up. So for this tutorial, I'm actually going to set up the course for 𝗪𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁. So you want to make sure that you set up your product first, and you want to make sure you have some very specific settings in here. As of the time of me making this video, when you go to your product fulfillment, you want to make sure that you have your access to your product set up to where it's going to display their total invoice and not sending them to add them to your membership. So typically, if you were setting up a course inside of Learn Plus, typically you would click on add them to your membership. And then down here, you would just click ThriveCart Learn, and then you would select your course that you want to add them to, right? But ThriveAcademy isn't connected here as of yet. I feel like down the road this will probably be a possibility, but at the moment you want to make sure that you have this set to display their total invoice, and then just save, and you have your product set up. So once you have your product set up, you're actually going to link your course through this checkout in your ThriveAcademy course settings. So I'll show you that when we get to it, okay? So now that I have confirmed that I have my product set up inside of ThriveCart, now I want to head over to ThriveAcademy and actually set up my course. So I'm going to go over here to the menu where it says Learn, click Learn, and then go to ThriveAcademy. It's going to open up a new window for us. And then what I want to do is there's two ways to create a course. So the first thing that you could do is you can go from this main home menu here. If you go to quick actions, you can see there's this button here that says create course, and then you can hit create course here, and then you can start creating your course. Or if you are on the courses menu, you can, from the course dashboard, you can go over to the top right hand corner, and then you can also click the big, I guess, burgundy button here that says create course. So either option just depends where you're navigating from. So we're going to go ahead and click on create course, and we're going to start setting up our new product or our course that we're creating. So when you create your course, you will notice that as you're building, you see this little preview over here. And if you want to add a thumbnail for your course, this is where you can add your thumbnail here. You can add a thumbnail later on in the course settings, which I will show you, and that's how you can add your banner as well. Here there's no option to add your banner, so but you can add the initial course cover. So the dimensions for this is going to be 1280 by 720, which is the standard settings for most online course platforms. So I'm just going to go into my course cover images, and I'm going to bring in my 𝗪𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁. I copied these from my old course system, so I didn't even recreate these. So now what I want to do is go ahead and give my course a title. This is going to be 𝗪𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁. And then my description, I'm just going to say recruitment, and if I can type today. I swear I am a great typer until I start recording videos. And once I start recording, it's like my typing is just all over the place. So recruitment and hiring toolkit. All right. And then if you have a community setup that you want to be linked to your course, you can add that down here where it says community. It will give you the option to select what community is going to be connected to, or if it's going to be a standalone course only, there's no community alongside your course, then you can just select no community. But anyone that purchases any product within the correct collection is going to get added to my correct you. And so I'm going to link that community there. and then we're going to go ahead and hit continue. One thing I like about this course creation dashboard is it literally walks you through step by step, but I am going to explain some important decisions that you have to make along this process. So now when we hit continue, we get to the mode, and it's going to ask you how would you like to build your course. You can either start from scratch, which will give you more control over what your course actually looks like. So you can choose your colors, you can set what side your menu is on, whether it's on the left side, the top, or if it's on the right. You can customize the fonts somewhat. You get more control over your community. And then if you use the select template, you also have a lot of templates to choose from. So right now I'm going to start from scratch, but I'm going to select templates just so you can see what type of templates are in here, and then we'll come back to start from scratch. So if you select choose a template, you can see there's over, I think, like 69 different templates in here that you can choose from. You just select the template that matches your course branding, the aesthetic. You can see there's some where it has the menu on the left, some it's on the right, some it's at the top. So you can choose your style from these templates. So at the time of me making this video, you can choose a template and start with a template, right? But depending on the template that you use, sometimes you can't always edit some of the module or lesson titles. So for example, you may choose a template, and when you choose that template, it starts with module 1, and then you can't change module 1 to rename it to getting started or whatever your first module is. It's just stuck at module 1. So that is why for me, at the time of making this video, my best practice has been just starting from scratch and then building, and I don't have to worry about not being able to change anything on the back end, right? So I'm going to go ahead and select start from scratch, and then I'm going to hit continue, and then I'm just going to set my category here, and I'm going to leave the language as English, which is the default. And then now we get into actually customizing my course layout. I personally love a left sidebar menu, so I'm going to go with the left, but you can choose top. You can also choose right. And you can see as I click on the different options, you'll see your preview over here changes as well. So you can see what each option looks like. But we're going to go with the left sidebar for our menu, and then continue on to our styling. So for the styling, I am going to add a custom color in here. You can choose one of the default ones. Again, as you click, you can see what the display options look like. I'm going to go ahead and go with custom, and I'm going to add my cornflower blue to this. I just have to open Canva really quickly because I don't have my brand kit open. Sorry, guys. So one thing I wish that ThriveCart would add is actually a brand kit, so that you don't have to copy your colors every time, because that is something that has been annoying. But I'm going to copy this here, and it always leaves off that last number for some reason. All right, so I'm going to copy my brand color over there. I want this to be this cornflower blue. And then I want my typography to be this business and finance. And then I'm going to choose my button style, which I do want the rounded buttons. But again, you can select this and make it whatever you want. We're going to go with rounded, and then I'm just going to hit continue, and then preview. It's going to ask me to confirm the choices that I've made. Everything looks good so far. Now I'm going to hit this button that says create course, and now we can get into actually creating our course, setting up our modules, as well as each lesson inside each module. So again, the reason why I like to start from scratch is because when you start from scratch, you don't have to worry about, right now, there's a couple known issues with if you add a module title or a lesson title, you can't change it afterwards. So we're not going to have to deal with that issue. I'm going to start from scratch with the first module. And I am just copying this course over from my previous course hosting platform. So I'm really just copying and pasting everything. So I'm pulling data from my other system, right? So we're going to name our module, which is first module is going to be getting started. And then how many modules do I have on here? Is it just 2? Yeah, I have getting started, and then I have the blueprint. So I'm going to go ahead and add this module name as well. I'm going to add another module. This module is the higher process blueprint. And then now I want to show you a couple things. So when it comes to your modules, you have the capability to customize what it looks like to your end user. So you'll notice over here, I have this menu that says appearance. And something that I love about Thrive Academy is you have your course intros that you can have. So if you want to display, let me go turn on the preview so you can see what this looks like. So if you wanted to have a standard intro, what people see before they actually get into the course, then you can change that here based on what kind of your intent is, right? So the standard option, you have your sales first. So let's say this is a lead magnet and you want to add testimonials and like that here, you can. If it's more academic, then you can do that. If it's community led, you can do that as well. And then minimum, you can choose your course intro. I'm not going to have a course intro for this because this is a paid product that people should only end up here if they've already purchased this, right? And then you also have module intros, which is something that I actually love. So with the module intros, you can also add authors as well. And let me turn on the preview so you can see what this looks like. And I actually love this because it reminds me of more, I don't want to say corporate, because I feel like in the world of entrepreneurship and course creation and coaching, like corporate is like a bad connotation to it. But as someone who is a former HR training instructor, HR professional, I used to actually maintain our LMS for the company that I worked for when I worked in public health. And our courses or our trainings for employees would typically start with a screen that looks something like this. So, for example, I worked in public health. You know, every year all employees have to do their annual HIPAA training. So when someone would come in to do their annual HIPAA training, this will let them know, okay, this is what this training is about, how long it's going to take, any important notes, any prerequisites, if they have to complete another training first. All of that would display on your module intro. So I think this is pretty cool. You could also have a author bio, which the bio is down here. I'll go to that in a second. But you can have this if you want to have like objectives or just like a brief intro to your modules, what people can expect, then you can have that set. So I am going to turn this on for this course. And what I want to do, we're going to leave this as standard. And then I'm going to actually go down here to where it says author. And I'm going to add myself as an author for this. So you can see what that looks like. I'm going to just add my title. I really wish Thrive Academy would add to where you had author profiles and you could just select a profile from your drop down menu and then it will automatically populate instead of having to retype this every single time. I have submitted that as a suggested improvement, but we'll see if it comes to fruition or not. But now I'm going to go ahead and add my picture here. Let's go to my brand kit. And there I am. So my picture is good. All right. So now that I have this, you can see, let's go back. I thought it was going to populate, but we'll see. Okay. It still doesn't show my picture, but it does say that I am an author. All right, so we have our module intro, And in addition to your module intro, you also get to add lesson intros as well. But I haven't added a lesson yet, so it's not going to show one. So let's go ahead and add our first lesson. So I'm going to click add a lesson. And when you go to add a lesson, you will notice that it gives you options for what type of lesson you're adding, right? So you can add a lesson that is, let me grab my title. I'm multitasking, you guys. You can add a lesson that is different types. So you can do blank and you start with basically an empty canvas, similar how when I started from scratch creating this course, when I logged in, it was just blank and then it says add module, add lesson, right? So you can do that and then build your own lesson using the different components. Or if you already know what the blueprint for your lesson is, you can select one of the pre-formatted options available. So I'm going to explain these to you very quickly. The video-centric is basically your standard course lesson you would think about in the traditional sense of online coaching or course creation, where you pretty much have your lesson that is video at the top, and then under that you may have supporting text or resources that support the video lesson and the video that's in that lesson, right? And then you have reading-centric. Reading-centric is going to be your long form text. If you have worksheets, resources that don't come with a companion video, it's just text. So if you don't have a video, there's no need to have that empty space up there, right? And then you have workshop. So this is if you have downloads first. So let's say you have a worksheet or something, you have a webinar that you're setting up in here, you may want to use the workshop option. And then you have assessment. So if you have quizzes that are available, then you would just select quiz. And then this is already pre-formatted for you to add your questions, explanation about the quiz, if there's a score they have to get, if they need support, whatever, then you can use the quiz, the assessment option. And then podcast or audio is basically if you are sharing an audio file with maybe show notes or bonus resources or something like that. So this is going to be a video centric lesson. So I'm just going to go ahead and click video centric here. And it says invalid request. This happens all the time when I'm creating lessons in here. I don't know why that is. I'm just going to try it again and see. There we go. I don't know if it has something to do with like timeouts or what, but as I have been adding my courses in here, getting those invalid requests or timeout errors has been something that has been very common. But that is something that I do expect as the system evolves. You will see less frequently and hopefully not at all. So now that we have our lesson created, I want to go ahead and add my content, and I'm going to start with the video. So when it comes to adding your videos, you have 3 different links. Obviously, if you're coming from Learn or Learn Plus, you know, in the past, your only option to upload videos into ThriveCart as far as Learn Plus was if you had a video link. So typically you will upload your video to YouTube, Vimeo, Amazon Web Service, and then you would just share your link here and then embed the video that way. The great thing about ThriveAcademy is now you do have native video hosting. So you can upload videos directly. Depending on the plan that you have will dictate the file size limits that you have. So I believe I'm on scale. With scale, you can upload videos up to 10 gigs. But if you have, I think the starter plan, it's like a 2 gig limit, if I believe. But you can upload your video directly here, or you can also upload videos to your library and then choose the video from your library. So when should you use upload versus library? I'm actually going to use the library for my videos in this course. And the reason why is because if you have videos that you are using across multiple different courses, you want to make sure that you add the video to your video library. That way you can just select the video for reuse each time you need to use it. If this is just a one-off video where it's only available in this course, it's not in any of your other courses, then you could just upload the video directly here. But if you want it to be accessible to maybe other courses that you're creating, then use the video library. So we're going to use the video library because I actually have this course is embedded into the correct OS system, right? So this is why all the videos are already uploaded, because it is used in another course. So because I've uploaded these to my video library, all I have to do is find the video that I want and then hit this video that I want. So right now, this is going to be my welcome video. This is what I want to add. Before I click on this, I do want to just say, if you're uploading videos to your video library, once you start your upload here, you need to wait till it is finished before you navigate away from this screen. I know if you're just uploading a video directly, there will be a little box that pops up at the bottom that says video uploading. You can navigate away. If you're directly uploading, yes, you can navigate and it will still upload in the background. But if you are uploading videos to your video library, you do need to wait for them to upload before you navigate away. Trust me, I learned that the hard way, okay? So I'm telling you so you won't have to be like me. But I'm going to select my welcome video that I'm going to add here. And you can see it's automatically refreshing for us. My video is there. I don't like the fact that there's not video thumbnails, but again, I have submitted that as a suggestion to add. So we'll see if it comes to fruition. But I have my video there. So now I'm just going to copy my little welcome message and I'm going to paste this in here as well. When I'm pasting, it does format a little wonky. So I'm just going to go through and take out those extra spaces. And then this looks pretty good. I think I do have, I have a workbook that goes with this. So at the time of me making this video, there is an option to upload a file directly here, but this has not been working for me. So what I have been doing instead is still just using the add via link option, which is what you had in Learn and Learn Plus. And if this gets fixed, I will leave a comment below the video letting you know that it is now functioning correctly. So a point to note when you add a file, sometimes when I go to add a file, it will give me an error message. I believe it's like a error 413, if I believe. And it will just say upload error, unable to upload file. Sometimes it will actually let me upload a PDF and it will appear to be attached. But once I actually preview the lesson and I go to click on the file, it will be just like blank on the inside. It's just white, right? It doesn't actually show any of the text that is inside of the PDF. So because of that, I have still just been using the add link. So I'm going to use that for today as well in this tutorial. Again, if something changes, then I will make sure to notate that in the comments. So I'm going to go ahead, hop over to my Google Drive, and I'm going to grab the link that goes with this lesson. And this is my Higher Correct Companion Workbook. And then I'm just going to post the link there and then hit save. You can see it is saved here. If you have frequently asked questions that typically come up in your lessons, then you can list those here. So this will help cut down on your support questions and inquiries that you get. If you have frequently asked questions, you can just add those here. And then under this, you have complete your CTA. So when someone finishes this lesson, what do you want to happen, if anything? So when someone completes this lesson, I want them to automatically be redirected to the next lesson. So I'm going to go ahead and hit go to next lesson and then save. But you have other options here as well. If you don't want to do anything, you can do no redirect. If you want to direct them to a specific lesson or resource, you can use this option. And if you want to send them outside, then you could just add external URL. But we're going to send them, we're going to go to next lesson, then hit save here. And then now we're going to go ahead and add our next lesson. But this is pretty much the process when it comes to setting up your lessons. I'm not going to make you I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me upload all of these lessons one by one. I will show you how to do a reading centric lesson. Other than that, I'm just going to fast forward through the rest of the lesson additions, and then we'll get to the course settings and all of that. All right, so I have made it to the end of all of the lessons that I have inside of this course. And I was hoping that I had a text-based only lesson, but it doesn't look like I do, but that's fine. So what I want to do, I'm going to go ahead and just add another lesson anyways, and I'll delete it later because I want to show you something specific that I think is pretty awesome when it comes to your reading-centric lessons. So let me go ahead and click add a lesson. We're just going to call this test reading lesson. And then I'm going to select reading-centric so that I can show you some pretty cool features. So because it's reading-centric, you can see at the top, there's not that space to add your video anymore, because there's no need to add that to the layout if you don't have a video. It's just taking up unnecessary real estate. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to paste this text in here. We're going to change this formatting a little bit. You can customize this. This is pretty straightforward, but I'm going to, if you wanted to change the colors in this, you could go over, highlight what you want, and then custom color. And we're going to change this to my brand color, which is C16785. And so now you can see that is changed. But what I wanted to show you in your reading-centric lessons is you can add resources as usual, but under this, you'll see that you have some additional options. So the first thing is lesson notes. This is something that I think is, I want to say game-changing, revolutionary, but I don't want to sound like ChatGPT or AI. But I do think that this is a game changer here. Earlier, how I talked about how ThriveAcademy really takes more of an enterprise approach. I love the fact that it's incorporating some of the things that you would see in more of like a corporate LMS when it comes to workplace trainings and things like that. And you're kind of merging that with what you typically see in the online coaching industry, right? So I love that they have this notes here. So basically, when you have this enabled, students are able to take their own private notes within this lesson. So their notes are private. They're the only ones that see their notes. But when they come back to a lesson, they will be able to see any notes that they have previously taken in the past. Also, something that I want to point out is this lesson thread. So any event that you have this connected to a community, if you have a thread that is specifically connected to this lesson or this module, then you can link it here, and that way it will link to your community space that is associated with this lesson. If you don't have a thread that's associated, then you can always just click hide, and then it will hide this and it won't be an option. But I think that that is pretty cool. All right, so now that we have our course set up, what we want to do is go ahead and get ready to publish. So when we publish this, I'm going to hit publish, and it's going to give me a pop-up to publish, and it's going to give me an error message. And well, I don't have to do it that way. I could always click on settings and go to course settings, which will probably be the easiest thing to do. But I'm going to actually hit publish here. And when I go to publish, it's going to tell me that I can't publish because this isn't linked to a product yet. So I'm going to go ahead and hit publish. As you can see, it says recommended no ThriveCart product mapped to this course, and then it gives me a little hyperlink to fix, and it's going to take me to our course settings. So now I'm going to go and complete the setup for the course. And so it's taking me to the course settings. Again, this is the same course settings I could have clicked on using that little gear icon. I don't know why I'm like this, but I just like for it to pop up that way, okay? So you can see it has our title and description that we added earlier in the general settings. You also have the option to add a course banner, which wasn't displayed at the beginning. I'm going to go and click on media. I'm going to go to my course banners. As I said, I don't think I uploaded the banner for Hire Correct yet. No. So I'm going to upload this really quickly. All right, Hire Correct banner. There it is. Use. So we have our banner now. Now we're going to go to our access and pricing, and this is where you're actually going to link your product. So if you want your course to be linked to a sales page inside of ThriveCart, this is where you're going to make that connection. So what you want to do is click the button that says link product. If you've added a product recently, you can hit this sync products to make sure all of your products are up to date. But if you didn't add anything new, you most likely won't need to hit that. But if you click this drop down and you don't see your product listed, just hit this sync products. All right, so now I'm going to go to the product that I want, which is Hire Correct, and then it's going to ask me to add a link, and you're just going to copy your checkout link. Copy that checkout link from there, paste that here. So when you have your courses, you have the option to have them display whether someone is enrolled or not. So you can have it enabled to show courses to people if they're not enrolled, so they have an opportunity to purchase. If you want to do that, then that is what this checkout link is for. If someone sees a course is available but they're not enrolled, when they click on it, it will take them to the checkout page. So I'm going to add that link, and then I'm just going to hit link product. And then you can see it shows down here that Hire Correct has been linked. I'm just going to go through these to see if there's anything else that I need to explain. I don't think there is. All of this is pretty self-explanatory. We're going to change this to publish once we get there. Your quiz defaults, if you do have quizzes, you can set defaults if there's a certain score that someone needs to pass. If you have a limit to the number of attempts that they can take on a quiz, or if you want to set time limits, that's where you could do these. But you can also set your quiz parameters inside of your quiz lesson as well. These are just going to be default settings. You can choose how your download files are displayed. So if you're using the original file name for how you have it uploaded or linked, or you can have it lessons based. So it will add a prefix to whatever the lesson is. If it's lesson 5, evaluation and selection process, and then the file name, etc. So I'm just going to use this as the original file name. I do a pretty good job with the nomenclature when it comes to lesson as well as file name. So we're going to leave it as original. And then you could do drip scheduling in here if you wanted to. So if you want your lessons to be no drip, it's all lessons are available immediately, you can do that. If you want it to be sequential, meaning that lessons unlocked based on when a previous lesson is completed. And then you have date based, which is, let's say you join a live cohort, so your lessons are going to open up on a specific date. You would use date based. And then you also have the option for intervals as well, which is based on a number of days on a rolling basis based on the student's enrollment date. So let's say they enroll into a program and they get access to module 1, and then they have to wait 7 days before they get access to module 2. and then 14 days before module 3, and so on. So that's what an intervals based is. All right, so those are going to be your course settings. So I'm going to go ahead, exit out of this, and then we're going to hit publish again. And then you will see our little error box up there is now gone, and we have the option to publish our course. So I'm going to hit publish, and it says our course has been published. So now when I go back to the main dashboard, we should see our course listed as published, and there it is right there, higher correct. So that is how you create a course inside of ThriveAcademy. I do want to point out one more caveat that I think is a known issue that will hopefully be resolved soon. So let's say that you create a course and you don't finish creating it in that moment, and so you just save it as a draft and you exit out of it, then it hasn't been showing up on your courses or in drafts. And that is because for whatever reason it goes into your archive. So if you click on filter and then you go to archive, you most likely will find your course here. I have contacted ThriveAcademy about that, so hopefully it is an issue that will be resolved soon. But if you have a course that should be in a draft that isn't showing in drafts, this just go into your archive and then you will most likely find it there. All right, let me know if you have any questions or if there's any other tutorials that you guys would like to see. Other than that, I just want to say thank you guys so much for stopping by my internet home. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, y'all. You can go deeper on this topic by watching the playlist on the top right of the screen. But if you'd rather have me build these systems for you, you can see how you can work with me using the link to the right. Otherwise, watch the video above because it's what YouTube thinks you'll like best.